So you may have heard that horse carriage drivers are animal abusers, or that this is abuse for our horses to do. First of all, I think you can see it does not look like my horse doesn't like me. If I was abusing my horse and doing something that was upsetting him, he would not be acting this way. To start you with that. But there is, abuse and exploitation within this industry. It's not what's going on with what we're doing to the horses. It's actually what animal rights extremists are doing to us. People in the street, verbally harass and have physically assaulted horse carriage drivers. You have people, online saying horrible negative things about you. They will shout, animal abuser and, shame on you and all this stuff. I sometimes will reply and I'll be like, I'm actually really proud of what I do. I take good care of my horse. I enjoy what I do. I have a lot of pride about it, so no, I do not feel shame about this, that kind of stuff. But that's who is being abused. It's the drivers. It is this verbal abuse, this physical abuse from the public that just doesn't know any better. You have the DCA's Department of Consumer Affairs, which changed their name to DCWP, Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. And they're actually failing to do that because of issues with pedicab scammers that I have gone into at length in other videos. I'm not going to get into it too much now, but essentially there are guys in the street who are running a bait and switch scam to lure people in with this idea of a horse carriage ride, and then they will sell them a pedicab ride before the people can actually get to horse carriage drivers to find out what we have to offer. And we lose a lot of business to that. So this is not a legal thing for them to be doing. You cannot dishonestly steal business from another business that way. There are laws against this. But these city agencies are actually failing to protect us from that. You also have this idea of exploitation. It is the animal rights people who are actually exploiting these horses. I have spoken about exploitation at length in another video, so again, I am not going to go into that in this one, about how our horses are not actually exploited and this is beneficial to them. But occasionally, we'll have a horse, retire, and depending on where they go, there will be people who will say negative things about them in order to raise money off of them. There are times where we have had, an accident with a horse, and, a horse could be injured. And rather than, us just dealing with that, you will have people, animal rights groups, exploiting these horses by exploiting that incident and, trying to raise money for their group off of it. Shining this negative light on our industry. That's really where the exploitation of this business stands. It is not about working our horses. We have received literally death threats for caring for our horse and driving them. And I just, I can't understand. I think it takes a really pathetic person to harass a stranger in the street. We do get a lot of harassment here and there. How are you just yelling an insult at someone that you don't know? You don't know anything about them. I know some drivers, I've done it myself, where someone yells animal abuser at you, you yell child molester at them. And they'll be like, what? I've never heard a child. I don't, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, I've never heard an animal. What are you talking about? You're going to yell some random thing that makes no sense at me. I'm going to do it to you. So that is not something cool to do. Just so you know, there are people that just think it's funny or think they're, supporting some good cause by doing that. No, you're pathetic and it doesn't hurt us and it's ridiculous. And you are a human abuser if you do that.